We're back at beautiful O'Donnell Golf Club in Palm Springs. And thanks to those of you who pointed out that the mountains behind me are pronounced the San Jacinto Mountains. O'Donnell holds a special place in my heart. It's the oldest course in the Coachella Valley. It's the first golf course that I ever won a tournament at, albeit a net doubles tournament played with my dad. And it's the first course where I ever managed to shoot even par. A lot of you ask which tees I prefer playing, and sometimes you ask which tees I think you ought to be playing. Well, I'm a proponent of teeing it forward. It gets you in the right frame of mind of being under pressure to make birdies, and that way when you step back a tee box and play again, you've been under that pressure before. So with that said, we're playing O'Donnell at 5,300 yards, and we're hoping that on a very good day here, we might manage to break par. One way to assure we do that is to avoid all of the OB on this course. And here on the first hole, those trees on the right are OB, and they tend to come into play. I safely put mine out to the left, but unfortunately I dumped this approach in a bunker. And that one's a little long. And it's clear early that if we are to break par today, it is going to require making some birdies. This drive on 2 isn't helping my cause. I'm lucky that it's alive.
Curving nicely, Adam. Get up. Good shot from there.
That's a good out, but now I'm playing for bogey, my second in as many holes. The par putt's no good, and we're 2 over through 2. This one's right on the money, and we'll have our first good look at birdie today. But we miss it a bit low, and we'll have to head to the 4th tee still 2 over. This hole's a great ego booster, and if there were ever a par 4 I might make a hole-in-one on, it's one that I can drive with just a 3-wood. It comes up a bit short, but this pitch is pretty good, and we'll have another look at birdie. And finally, we make one.
Nice birdie, Adam.
Nice birdie.
This hole reminds me a bit of mini golf. You hit your tee shot and walk around the corner to see how you've done. Mine was pin high, and this one's right on line, but I don't put enough on it. And we're settling in with a couple of pars and a birdie in the last 3. This one's also flirting with OB all the way up the right, but it does stay alive. Even though on the second one I'm carving an iron around the turn, when a straight drive allows you to go for this green in 2. In any event, we're just pitching in now, and this one's right on the money, and we make another birdie.
Okay.
Good ball, Adam.
This is a tough par 3, and mine's right on line but goes over the back. And I'm happy to get out of any 200-yard par 3 with a par. For my money, this is the toughest hole on this course. There's OB up the left and right. And with OB continuing up the left, it's dangerous to hit a draw around that corner, but this time I get away with it. That's a horrible pitch, though. And instead of putting for birdie, we're pitching on and hoping to get up and down. And luckily, we do just that. A great drive can actually reach the green here, even for me. But that one's fine, and I'm 40 short. But you know what they say, it's hard to recover from a good drive. And here I'm pitching for the second time into this green. And we'll have to settle for a bogey here to finish 1 over on the front. So looking back at this card, we were a bit rough out of the gate, but pretty pleased with how we played from the 3rd hole on. But I will say, no matter how short a course is, if you're trying to break par, you've got to make the putts, and every time you make a bogey, you've got to offset it with the birdie. Let me know if you'd like to see the few more cracks I took at this course during my trip here. I'm eager to know whether you guys like this, or if it's on to the tougher courses where you like to see me suffer a bit more.
That's all right.
Adam does want to hit those trees.
Once again, we play it safely up the left. And this time with 90 yards in, we paint the flagstick, and we'll have just a few feet for birdie. But like I said, you've got to make the putts. That's definitely my best drive of the day. And would you look at that, we're going to dump yet another one into the bunker. And with only a few feet to work with in front of the pin here, I can't hit that one much more gingerly, and unfortunately I'll still have a bit of work for par here. And this hole has snagged us twice, with bogeys from both sets of tees.
Oh, yes.
It's all over it.
This hole plays 20 yards further back than it did on the front nine. And watch this guy. He doesn't put enough on the birdie putt, and gets all cocky on the par putt. I know that this one's left edge and firm, but I just don't give it enough respect. And it skates right by the hole. From the upper tee deck, this hole stretches out to about 250.
Trap?
I don't know.
I'm lucky that it's about a foot away from the trap.
Nice chip.
And it's another funky one where an up and down that feels like it's a par is actually a birdie.
Short left. Probably in the bunker.
This one's tugged into the bunker. And after hitting it too far out of the bunker a couple holes ago, I'm trying to ease up on this one, and it takes me a couple of whacks to get out of there.
Get in.
But that's a good putt to preserve just a bogey.
That's all right.
This one's to the left, but thankfully it's not OB on this side. And out of really thick rough, I don't get all of this one, and I'm very lucky that I'll still have a line at this flag. I hit a good one here, and once again it's just a few feet for birdie, but on the back nine I'm just not making the putts. That's no good. Chunked it, skied it, and I'll still have 50 yards in on the par 3. And this one's thinned over the back. The collar gives me a really generous slowdown here, though.
Nice.
And again, getting out with just a bogey is okay there.
That was good. The same ugly swing I took last time.
That's pretty similar to the spot I was in the first time I played this hole.
That's fine.
And this one doesn't quite hook around the corner the way the last one did. And I'm forced to play over this tree here. It's a long, long birdie putt now. It misses left, but it is within a couple of feet, and I knock it home. It's a good drive here on 18, but it's hard to recover from a good drive. And just like last time, we're finding ways to mess up this hole. And unlike the color that gave us a great break a couple of holes ago, this time it shoots me about 10 feet past, and I have to take a bogey here on 18. So my first crack at breaking par at O'Donnell this season came up 5 strokes short. It's an easy course, so that's a 9-point some odd differential, and it will actually drive my handicap up. With that said, this round served me pretty well for my next one. I hopped in the car and drove to Vegas to join some friends for a Pro-Am, and stay tuned for that round. It's my best ever on the channel.
In terms of touch, you actually